Hi everyone, it's Greyson and this is Greyson Talks Everything. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and if you're not new and are returning, welcome back. Do be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also follow my Instagram to get the latest updates on when videos of mine are coming out, and to admire some fan art of mine that I regularly post on that page too. Some of my artwork should be showing up on the screen right now. Alright, and then the link to my Instagram is always in my description, but if you want to know my Instagram tag right this second so you can follow me, that should be showing up on the screen right now. Alright, let's get into it. Today, we're doing something a little different. Today, I'm going to be discussing and explaining everything you need to know about the Marvel Multiverse before shows and movies like Marvel's What If and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness come out, because the multiverse has now officially been birthed or rebirthed, and I don't think the MCU has completely explored the logistics of the multiverse yet, so I'm trying to give you a good idea. This video is still gonna be a little long, but I didn't even get to go dive into everything. I didn't even talk about Nexus beings or Uatu and the rest of the Watchers and some of the cosmic beings I had to leave out. But I tackled the big plot points and the big stuff you need to know about the multiverse and how it works. Especially in the Marvel comics. I'll definitely do a video on the DC multiverse when we're closer to Flash, or to the Flash movie, which is now confirmed to be a multiverse story. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about this with you guys. I had really a great time making this. Editing me is probably going through a lot right now, but yeah, let's get into it. The multiverse is a collection of alternate universes which share a universal hierarchy. It is a subsection of the larger omniverse, the collection of all alternate universes. A large variety of these universes were originated as forms of divergence from other realities, where an event with different possible outcomes gives rise to different universes, one for each outcome. Some can seem to be taking place in the past or the future due to differences in how the time passes in each universe. Often, new universes and dimensions are born due to time traveling. The cosmic being Eternity once stated that there are almost infinite aspects of itself, establishing the then official Marvel's positioning about the multiversal's fundamental nature. Afterwards, the Beyonder estimated that there is a seemingly endless number of dimensions to thereafter explore the entire multiverse and its myriad of planes. The crossroads also leads to an infinite number of dimensions. In addition, the Molecule Man, who is almost omniscient, has also postulated that there are an infinite number of parallel dimensions to Earth's universe that together comprise the multiverse. It was afterwards stated in the Book of the Vishanti, which details the Marvel cosmology, that there is literally a transfinite number, that is, a greater than infinity of universes in the multiverse. There is also a transfinite number of multiverses. The multiverse was further described as boundless by Captain Universe, and the Web of Life and Destiny forms a map of the multiverse, with differing nodes representing the universes and the skins representing people, particularly the avatars of the spider totems, objects, and series of events. In the beginning, there was only one universe, the first firmament. A war between its creations, the aspirants and the celestials, shattered the first firmament into pieces, and from these pieces were born countless universes, thus forming the second cosmos and the first multiverse. As these new universes coalesced, a new collective being was formed. Each iteration of the multiverse has gone through a different instance of renewal, which constitutes in the destruction and recreation of everything there is starting from zero, with each renewal prompting the multiverse to evolve further. The sixth iteration of the multiverse was destroyed by the Black Winter, leaving Galactus as the only survivor. The seventh iteration of the multiverse was destroyed as a consequence of the phenomenon known as the Incursions, and was eventually reborn as the eighth when Mr. Fantastic acquired the power of the Beyonders, which was previously held by Dr. Doom. Richard's intervention caused the eighth incursion to be a direct continuation of the seventh. Instead of starting from scratch, most of the destroyed universes were recreated, continuing the existence almost as if nothing had ever happened. The multiverse was originally categorized and protected by Merlin, who established the Captain Britain Corps. Most realities have a Captain Britain designated to protect its version of the British Isles and an extension, the reality.
thanks to an omniversal dimensional nexus situated in a tower on the shores of the United Kingdom. Individual members of the Corps draw their power from this nexus thanks to Merlin's magic and science. There are other beings and groups dealing with protecting the multiverse, for example the Time Variance Authority or the Exiles. New realities are constantly being created, a process that often involves time-traveling characters, as time travel in the Marvel Comics usually creates divergent realities, and it is typically not possible to alter time or travel back to your own past. However, exceptions to this rule have occurred, such as with Doctor Doom's use of the Time Platform and Silver Surfer being sent back to the beginning of the universe. The rift first became known on Earth 13812 in the head of the Sphinx. Lord Xavier, the Witch King, and Nazi Xavier and Xavier Head began sacrificing civilians to an interdimensional rift to gain power. The trans-dimensional X-Men were able to rescue their Xavier and narrowly defeat Lord Xavier and Nazi Xavier. Unfortunately, the X-Men did not act quickly enough to save that world and were forced to make an interdimensional time jump, leaving that reality and all its citizens being consumed by the X-Terminator's vortex. Meanwhile, on Earth 616, Age of Apocalypse Nightcrawler and Dark Beast used the Dreaming Celestial to create a portal to New Apocalypse. Unfortunately, this portal opened the rift between realities wide enough for the X-Terminators to pass over to Earth 295. When the X-Terminators emerged, they were greeted by the X-Men, the Transdimensional X-Men, and the X-Terminated. One of the X-Terminators departed to Earth 616 where he drained the Dreaming Celestial, while the other two X-Terminators remained on Earth 295, one feeding off the rift and the other seeking out the power of Apocalypse and the Death Seed. After Wolverine traveled back in time numerous times to prevent the rise of power of the evil artificial intelligence known as Ultron, the space-time continuum was broken, causing a multiversal massive shockwave to echo through time and space as reality seeming to shatter before being pulled back together. A multiversal chaos was unleashed, where numerous beings from other realities were transported to other universes through the tears of reality. Due to the result of a phenomenon paradoxical in nature known as the Incursions, which resulted from an early destruction of a reality, causing a contraction in the multiverse, every universe in existence began to experience regular collisions with one another, with their respective planets Earth acting as the focal point. Unless the impact was averted by the destruction of either of the two colliding Earths, both intersecting realities would be destroyed when the two planets made contact. While numerous different beings and groups of people from across numerous universes attempted to avert the death of everything, it all eventually came down to the final incursion between the last two surviving universes, Earth 616 and Earth 1610, which were subsequently destroyed. Only a handful of inhabitants from each universe outlived their realities, abroad life rafts that kept them in suspended animation. Among them were the Reed Richards of each universe, Mr. Fantastic, and the Maker. After stealing the power from the Beyonders, powerful beings that existed outside what was once the multiverse, with the help of the Molecule Man and Dr. Doom, managed to salvage the remnants of several destroyed universes, merging them into Battleworld. Doom's 8-year reign as Battleworld's ruler came to an end when the discovery of the two life rafts caused bedlam. During the confrontation between Dr. Doom and Mr. Fantastic, the Molecule Man transferred Doom's power to Reed, destroying Battleworld in the process. With the power he had received, Mr. Fantastic began to restore the multiverse, universe by universe. With the help of his revived family, this chain of events is what caused the creation of the 8th cosmos. Still resentful by the existence of multiple realities, the First Firmament decided to attack the current embodiment of the multiverse, Eternity. Taking advantage of Eternity's weakened state caused by its most recent rebirth, the First Firmament bound it to its chains, and it sent its aspirants to destroy it from the inside out. In an attempt to help strengthen Eternity, the Maker harvested the essence of the aspirants and used the high evolutionary technology to disrupt and bring down the Superflow, the network that separated realities from one another, successfully merging every universe with Eternity into one. The Maker also took advantage of this opportunity to rewrite the laws of the multiverse to bring back to life the original Ultimates from his defunct home universe. Even though the process strengthened Eternity in the beginning and allowed it to break free from the First Firmamente's grasp, it soon proved to be counterproductive. Eternity began to deteriorate, validating the First Firmamente's consumption of it. Because of this, Galactus sent his own Ultimates to stop the Maker. After Spectrum and the High Evolutionary killed the Maker's then current body, both teams of Ultimates worked together to reverse the damage caused by the Superflow, using the nanites from his armor and the High Evolutionary's technology, which had been advanced by the Maker beyond its creator's understanding. Iron Man was capable of interacting with it. Spectrum subsequently used her powers to link together the minds of both teams of the Ultimates, allowing their combined brain power to operate the machine and restore the multiverse to its normal state. Galactus and his Eternity Watch subsequently entered Eternity and defeated the Aspirants, freeing Eternity from their detrimental influence. Full of vigor, once again, Eternity managed to confront the First Firmament, summoning the previous embodiments of the past cosmoses to his aid. This army of past cosmoses imprisoned the First Firmament and took it away to another plane of existence in order to heal it. When the future omnipotent Thanos forced his past self to follow his own path by using the astral regulator to absorb the majority of the cosmic beings, the two merged and then absorbed both the living tribunal and the above all others, becoming the very embodiment of the entire multiverse. However, after the future Thanos realized the realities were just stuck in a loop, he saw that life was meaningless and sought to free everyone by killing himself and destroy all of space and time. Thankfully, thanks to the combined effort of Adam Warlock, Kang the Conqueror, and present Thanos, the future Thanos plan was stopped and he was erased from existence. Near the end of time, the last member of the Timeline Managing Time Variance Authority oversees the birth of three entities named Ast, Vort, and Xanth. These three become either Timekeepers or the Time Twisters in one of the two possible remaining futures. The Timekeepers are the employers of Immortus and use him to eliminate timelines that could lead to the creation of the Time Twisters. During the Destiny War, Kang the Conqueror killed the Timekeepers and diverged from Immortus, creating a new future for himself in which he does not become Immortus. Wolverine and Jubilee of the X-Men were once transported to the end of the universe, known as the Big Crunch, by the Time Dancer Spiral and her employer Mojo. All four returned to their own time after the battle. Galactus battles the Watcher who witnessed his birth, and the two of them battle over a millennia and the universe basically dies around them. Stars burn out, and opposed to there being a big crunch, entropy wins over all. As the universe verges on flickering out of existence, Galactus draws his last shreds of energy, giving him just enough of an edge to battle the rogue Watcher. Galactus and Nova, his herald, are left in an empty void. Galactus comes to the realization of what he's been doing for billions of years. He cracks his armor and the energy he absorbed spews out of him. Galactus becomes the Big Bang of the next universe. Nova survives and becomes the new Galactus of the next universe, and the cycle continues. Mr. Immortal, who is Craig Hollis of the Great Lakes Avengers, is destined to be the only true immortal in existence and will learn the last secret of the universe in the last moments of the universe. However, in one outcome, the Hulk, who was possessed by the One Above All, killed Mr. Immortal and usurped his place as Galactus' successor, becoming the cosmic entity called the Breaker Apart and annihilating the ninth cosmos. Within the Marvel Universe, there are countless timelines and worlds that have only scratched the surface of the larger multiverse. Many of Marvel's most popular event series have spawned worlds of their own, and their adventures continue even after the main storyline concludes. The 616 universe may sound like just another timeline, but it's by far the most important world of them all. Earth 616 is the Marvel Universe as we know it, and its legacy stretches back all the way to 1939. While the rolling timeline keeps things modern, the 616 universe has continued uninterrupted since the launch of Fantastic Four issue 1 in 1961. Nearly 2 decades ago, the Ultimate comic line, which is designated to Earth 1610, was created to give Marvel's classic characters a modern reboot. Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, and the Ultimates, and even more, paved the way for a new generation of readers. Most notably, Miles Morales made his debut as the new Spider-Man after Peter Parker was killed in the Ultimate Universe. Miles moved to the Prime Universe after Secret Wars in 2015, when the Ultimate Universe was thought to be destroyed. But the Ultimate Universe has been reborn and its story isn't finished yet. And sometimes it's the past, not the future, that we have to worry about. Legion, the mentally unbalanced and supremely powerful son of Charles Xavier, attempted to appease his famous father by traveling back in time and murdering Eric Magnus Lensher before he became Magneto. Instead, he accidentally created a world in which Xavier died before founding the X-Men, which led to the Age of Apocalypse storyline. This actually overwrote the 616 reality for a time, before a brave group of X-Men were able to reverse the damage. Incredibly, the post-Age of Apocalypse survived as Earth-295 before eventually meeting a dark end years later. Now this is a scary universe, largely because it's the home of the Marvel Zombies, designated on Earth-2149. The various heroes of Earth fell to a zombie plague and quickly devoured the rest of humanity before turning on each other. The Marvel Zombies even ate Galactus and eventually traveled to other realities. The Scarlet Witch was responsible for creating Earth 58163, a world better known as the House of M. She created a time and place where mutants were the dominant form of humanity on Earth. This was done in an attempt to appease her father Magneto and to reclaim her lost children. It was an illusion that couldn't last despite Scarlet Witch's desire to please everyone. Even after her changes were undone, this reality survived. And on almost every Earth, Peter Parker is Spider-Man, but one of the biggest exceptions is Earth 65, the home of Spider-Woman. Well, we know her better as Spider-Gwen, the alternate Gwen Stacy who has headlined her own ongoing series. Spider-Gwen still pops up into the 616 universe on occasion, now with the codename Ghost Spider. Now, consider this next world one you wouldn't want to visit. An old man Logan, designated on Earth 807128, the former Wolverine lived in a timeline where the villains nearly exterminated all of the heroes. Much to his shame, Logan was tricked by Mysterio into killing his fellow X-Men before he retired. A version of Old Man Logan even made it into the 616 universe after Secret Wars, and he's currently starring in Dead Man Logan. Well, he was. This was like a long time ago. On Earth 982, the Marvel Universe does have a future, but the world of 2099 is a very different place. Spider-Man 2099 became one of the first iconic heroes of the era, but the X-Men 2099, Punisher 2099, Fantastic Four 2099, and even Ghost Rider 2099 eventually emerged as this era's champions. And finally, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, known as the MCU for short, is a shared place where all 24 MCU films and the comic book characters are set. Each tells its own distinct story but also connects with other films in the MCU to tell an overarching tale. It's a technique Marvel Comics pioneer Stan Lee also used in his comics. Marvel figured that seeing as they have a multiverse in the comics, which they have also added their TV series, older films, and video games to as well, they might as well add the Marvel Cinematic Universe to their multiverse. So they gave it a number, and said number just so happened to be Earth 19999.
So that's everything you need to know before watching What If and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness about the Marvel Multiverse. Literally everything you need to know about it. Well, sort of everything. You know what I mean if you watch the intro. But what did you think? Are you excited to watch more multiverse shows like What If and Multiverse of Madness? Do you want to see another video like this where I talk about the DC Multiverse? Share your thoughts down below, and don't forget to subscribe and like and share if you haven't done that already, and again, all that fun stuff. And also, again, follow my Instagram where you get the latest updates when videos of mine are coming out, and to admire some fan art of mine that I regularly post on there. Alright, bye everyone.